This is First Play. You might have noticed our changing venue. Let's talk about Letters from Whitechapel.
This is one of the requested games from our Kickstarter. If I had to classify this game as a movie, I'd say it's a suspenseful game, a nervous game, but for both sides.
What do you mean by both sides, Luciana?
For people who are playing with the detectives and the people who are playing with Jack the Ripper.
Okay, so let's explain the game. So people, let's do a very brief explanation. This is not the object of First Play. We need to talk about the rules and the rules book. But let's talk about how the game is played. Just a little bit how the game is played. As you might have guessed, the game is about, it's the police versus
Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
I always want to say Jackie the Stripper.
One player will play with the Jack the Ripper and the other players will be the police.
No matter how many players. If you have two people, one person is going to be all the police, but you can play with up to, I think, 5 people being the police and a sixth.
It's hard for us.
As Jack. Yes. Okay.
The objective is to chase Jack the Ripper after he murdered a poor woman that is this white.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the wretched in the game. They're called, I think they're the wretched.
Jack will kill someone, will kill a girl, and then he will vanish in Whitechapel. In the streets of Whitechapel. Mm-hmm. So the police have to chase him.
Yeah. And
before he goes to his
hideout. Yeah, that's right. The game is played in 4 turns, in 4 nights. The first night Jack kills 1, the second 1, and the third night is a little different because he has to kill 2. And in the last night he kills the very last one. So every night the police will roam the streets until Jack decides to kill. And then after he kills, all the cops will try to look for clues and see where he is, or try to guess where his hideout is and stop him from getting there. If you played, the game in Brazil is called Interpol, but the game is actually Scotland Yard in the original name. It's a very old game in which you have to pursue what's the name? Mr. X, the guy guy with the cap. It's kind of like this game, but with a lot of added, it's an updated version of that game. It's a reimagining of that game, in which you don't see the places where Jack walks.
Everything is hidden because Jack has a track sheet when where he writes down all the places he passed, but nobody sees that, just Jack.
Yeah, that's why you have this the screen here. It reproduces the streets.
The board, yeah.
You have some rules here, some very useful rules, and you take one of those sheets and you put it here, and you're gonna jot down your movement for each night and your hideout. There's a place here for your hideout because it's the same hideout every night. And Jack walks in the numbers, and the cops, they walk in the squares following the dotted lines. And Jack has some resources at his disposal. He can use carriages and he can use alleyways.
And this is very useful for Jack because he can walk faster because he takes two spaces, and he can pass through the blocks.
Most of the time, the player who plays Jack, he is about to get busted, but then he get away with it, and that's
can really disappear.
Yeah.
In the board using this.
Mm-hmm. So the
resources.
The game has 2 different rules sets, right? Mm-hmm. The person who plays Jack follows a certain group of rules, and the player or players with cops is going to use another different set of rules. They're similar, not completely different. It's not that of an imbalanced game, but it's different enough so that the player or players who are playing the cops, at least on in our experience, they always feel the advantage is with the Jack character. and who plays Jack always feel the advantage is with the players with the cop. So you always feel the game's harder for you.
Yeah.
But then you switch around next match, and this is
hard.
And you will probably want to play again. When we played switching around, and everybody would have a chance to be Jack, and it was always the same. Yeah. Everybody thought, oh, it must be very easy to be Jack the Ripper. No, and then they play Jack as Jack the Ripper, and they see how tough it is.
It's a very nervous game. Mm-hmm. When you play with more than 2, 3, or 4 people, they're playing with the police. They talk about the strategy or how they are gonna play the next move to try to chase Jack, and it's very nerve-wracking for Jack and for them, because they have to talk in front of Jack, but Jack's game is hidden from them, so it's a little bit difficult to hear everything, and you say, oh, they are coming from me, or they know exactly where I am, and you have to think what you're gonna do to hide yourself or to run away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a tense game. There's not much room for small talk at the table when you're playing the game. You need to be paying attention all the time, and it's not a very relaxing game, and that's one of the things I most loved about this game. Yeah. I've been waiting for this new edition from Fantasy Flight Games for a while. This is originally an Italian game, as you can see, by the name of the designers. And it was released in the United States a long time ago and got a revamped version with the pieces are a little different, although I don't know exactly how different because I never played the first US version. And now it's been re-released in a smaller box, way more convenient to be kept in spite of...
Fantasy Flight game box.
Yeah, it used to be a huge ass box. The Fantasy Flight used to use, but not very convenient for storage. I've been waiting for this game a long time, and I'm not disappointed. It's actually more than I expected.
Yeah,
because I don't know about you. I never asked you that, and I forgot to ask Gustavo or Jacqueline about that. I cannot see this game as just a game. Maybe it's the theme. When I play the game and I'm playing with the constables, with the police, and Jack kills one of the wretched and escapes in the night, I feel bad. I feel as if I didn't do my job and somebody died because of me. And when I'm Jack, I feel evil. Yeah, like...
Oh God.
Maybe it's because I know a lot of this story of this, like the lore of Jack the Ripper. It's not just a game for me. It's like reenacting a very dark snippet of Western history, and it pulls me. The game pulls me into the mood.
You're never gonna be Jack the Ripper again.
I don't know if you realize that how I am moody as I play this game. I'm never happy or joyful or laugh.
But it's a really tense game, and the atmosphere is very Englishy and
very British.
Yeah, very British and very dark. It's a good game to play with the right kind of people that really like this kind of game. But it's a I don't know. I've played a lot the other version, the Brazilian version, with my cousin because he had one, the Interpol.
Yes, it's
in Brazil. It's called Interpol. Yeah. But I think this is way better than the Brazilian version.
Oh yeah, but that wasn't because your first impression,
rules,
right? At first, you thought it wasn't very, very different of a game.
Yeah,
so you changed your mind.
Yeah, I changed my mind. I think the atmosphere is better, and because you never really see Jack the Ripper, you have those yellow pieces that make the clues that you...
When you find where Jack has been, but you never actually see where Jack is.
And it's, I think the atmosphere is better, and this game has some advanced rules.
Some optional rules,
like
let's talk about
letters.
Yeah, let's talk about the rules. This is your typical Fantasy Flight Games rules book, but it's a very easy, straightforward game. Gabriele Mari and Gianluca Santopietro, they did a very good job. I don't know if this, how close to the original Italian version is, but it's not as hard to find where the rules are. At first, you are going to check the rules all the time because of the imbalance. It's not an imbalance. It's because it's...
The rules are different for
Jack or
two sides of the game.
You're going to be checking them often in the beginning until you get the fact that there is very, very few rules you actually need to memorize. A lot of times, the both of us were going through, could I have done that? Should I do that? Is it possible for me to do that? We were kind of expecting a more complex and nuanced set of rules, and it's not that game. It's very easy to learn. It's not a gamer's game. You can teach this for people who've been playing only Monopoly and Risk for their whole lives. It's that easy. That gateway of a game, which I think it's like very good.
Classical mechanics thing.
I think you're right. It's a classic game. It's a classic style game.
Yeah.
And
you have those sheets that you have
that help you a lot. The sheets here that help you a lot with the phases of the game. And so you were talking about. So it's a very straightforward and a very pretty rules book. It's decorated with longhand handwriting, drops of blood or ink, and several the way the rules book is illustrated. It's very nice. It helps with the mood. And there is a couple of, after you play the game a while and you feel like, I don't know, maybe I am too good as the cops or you are too good as Jack. You can add a couple of, it's right in the back here, a couple of advanced rules. I would say optional rules. Optional. It's not advanced. It's just add. There's a couple of rules to help Jack, and there's a couple of rules to help the police. So you can shift the balance of the game depending on how well everybody's been playing. It's the kind of thing that only if you play this game a lot and continuously and with the same people over and over and over again. There's also a optional hideout generator that we didn't use because that would have been breaking the rules of first play. Because the rule of first play is we have to play this game without going online for rules clarifications or questions or errata or nothing like that. Did the game pass, Lucian?
I think it passes.
Yes.
Because you just need a pencil or a pen.
Yeah. And
other than everything that's come in the book.
I don't know if that's important, but we always play this game with a fountain pen loaded with red ink.
Yeah. To keep the mood.
Yeah. So it passes very easily. It's a thinner and more straightforward rules book than we usually get from FFG.
It looks more complicated than it is.
This has been First Play, and in this episode we covered one of the requested games from our supporters from the Kickstarter. I cannot thank you guys enough for allowing us to have this game and for reviewing it for you.
I would like to know if you like our different scenario. Would you like us to keep on recording here, or did you like the other one better? Let us know in the comments below.
If this is your first time with us, be sure to click that gorgeous subscribe button so you won't miss any of our videos or the other great videos that we have here at the Gamerati YouTube channel.
Thank you for watching. Till next time, bye bye.